Today's class is about the power of the breath, power of the breath for birth, and the coming back to your breath, or that guidance from a doula or a midwife or a partner. Come back to the breath is probably the most commonly spoken statement in the birthing room, because it is that number one tool. And so, and it's more than evidence-based. This is ancient. So the studies get done after the tens of thousands of years of women birthing every day, all of those years using their breath. So in a sense, even though we know it's evidence-based and our surveys tell us blah, 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 the breath, in a sense, I know a lot of people in mindfulness have this relationship to the breath, like be curious. And I think it's actually a lot more than just be curious. Curiosity is an element of it, but befriend the breath. Become best friends with your breath. And as you become best friends with your breath, it becomes the red thread that you hold onto. So if you think about, again, how women have birthed since the beginning of time, it would be holding on to like a rebozo long shawl over a tree, by a body of water or just in the shade of the tree. And that rope or that shawl would have been held onto by all these other women and the lineages of women. And in a sense, we call that the red thread, the matrilineal line that we come from, and all the women that have birthed in your family line to bring you to where you are. That is the red thread. So I think of the breath like the red thread. And there's going to be times when you like lose your grip on that red thread, but like come back and just like lean into her. And the breath is that. So that's the way I see the breath for birth. And we all have habits with our breathing. And some of those habits are really helpful. But when you're on the mat, you might discover some habits aren't so helpful. And it is hard, like when a teacher's not there and so on. But one of the most common things is to overbreathe and to breathe too deeply too often. So we use that Ujjayi breath that a lot of you will have learned in yoga, like the tongue pressing up to the top palate of the mouth and that rasping sound, so it comes in normally. That little snoring sound, that Ujjayi pranayama, we use that to help us push our babies. We use that to help settle us during transition. And we want to use it sometimes on the yoga mat, but the rest of the time, it's like a gentle, easy breath. Sometimes deep, if we've lost our sort of holding of the thread, to bring us back into the most gentle, easy breath. Sometimes deep when there's a stretch happening and we want to open fascia in an area, but then come back to gentle, easy. So gentle, easy really should be where we are most of the time, not a forced, deep throat breathing thing. The throat breathing restricts the throat, restricts the cervix. It builds up too much heat. It's not ideal for a woman's body doing an Ashtanga practice for a long period of time. It gets overused. So those are my little tips today on the breath. And if anyone's got any questions, feel free to jump in and I will take you through a practice and we'll just kind of lean into exploring the breath. Okay? And I'm so happy to be home. I'm so happy. All right, and I got my fat pants on today, my just started bleeding pants. So you're just like, I'm going to breathe into the womb with you guys today. Yeah, because it's a beautiful thing to do. All right, so let's get comfortable, because you always want to come to your mat and wipe the slate clean. Like there's no point like just getting on the mat and starting the moving, because you're just going to bring your habitual breathing and mind thinking, right, to that. So we want to wipe the slate clean in some position that works best for you. So I always like to come back into that Sukta, that reclining Baddha Konasana. One grip, you could have it just low, the next grip a little higher. You could roll something up. And then coming back, supporting the lower back, soles of the feet together. My head is higher than my chest. My chest is higher than my belly. There's that diagonal line. You can take my arms up and over. If you've got extra bricks, you could put them under your knees. Any pubic pain, just straighten the legs out. Any arm pain, just open the arms. But you should feel a lovely opening here in your body. Now to make space for the breath. Now, if that's not comfortable, you've got your child's pose or sitting upright or lying on your side. So just always listening to your body. Yeah, and if early days pregnancy, you don't need to have those bricks and so on. You don't need to tilt the body so much. It's all good. Yeah, good. So take those arms up overhead if it's comfortable, taking hold of opposite elbows, tucking those shoulders down. And then just really gently start to deepen the breath. So we've just arrived on the mat. We're just arriving into the body. Hey, Simone. Number 4. Oh my God, Mazel Tov. You just missed my lecture on the breath, but you know, you'll be fine. So ideally, when you breathe in and out through the nose, you really open up the bottom of the lungs. And in this beautiful stretch now, we've got lots of space for the diaphragm. And then as the diaphragm kind of bellows and expands on that inhale, and then as you exhale, it compresses and contracts, and you might even give it a little extra squeeze with your abdominal muscles that wrap around. This brings a lovely evoking of relaxation, because it's massaging the vagus nerve, which sits there under the diaphragm. So that's a nice way to begin. Just some nice deep breaths, cleansing breaths. And then just let your awareness scan down through the body. So just that practice that we come back to the breath. Similarly now, every time you close your eyes, you start to have that inner discipline, that inner devotion to relaxing through your body. Body scanning down. So just soften through your scalp and your face. Down through the jaw and the throat. All the way across the chest and the shoulders. And deep into the lungs, the heart. Just let the fingers rest in their natural curve. And spend some time just relaxing into your belly. Spend lots of time just kind of feeling your belly, all the changes that have taken place in the last couple of weeks. And just breathe into any tensions there. Remember that fascia gets tight, you know, often the growth spurts that are happening, and then it adapts, it adjusts, but your breathing will stretch that fascia. Let it give, that elasticity will come, and then just let it soften even more. And then feel into the hips, the groin, pelvic floor. Relax all the way down through the legs, the toes. And then just practice being aware and letting energy flow down through the body. And so a golden light's just being poured down through above the crown of the head, flowing all the way out through fingers and toes. You just allow the breath to settle and take care of itself. Instead. Take a moment just to connect with your baby in that place. Send them little messages, ask them little questions, tell them what's going on. It's whatever feels real for you. And really gently Feel into the heart space, center of the chest, beneath the sternum. And just connect with an intention for your practice. Perhaps just repeat an affirmation that you're already working with. And then breathing into the heart and the belly for you and your baby. Take a few deeper and wider breaths now. So as you inhale, just make more room in your body, in your amazingly designed body. And exhale, let energy flow down. Inhale, big and wide. Exhale, release downwards. And gently wriggle your fingers and your toes. If your knees are wide, you might use your arms just to slowly bring them back together. Arms can come down. And if it's comfortable to do so, just roll to your side and push your hands into the floor. And then gently lift yourself upright. So that you're now going to sit back into the lap of your feet. So your toes are together. And if you need to, you put something under your bottom. You can put your bricks or your blankets or a cushion under your bottom if it's killing those ankles and calves. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Lift up through the crown, drop down through the tail. Try and keep that softness of the breath that we had while we were lying down. And that feeling of movement in the diaphragm, the bottom of the lungs. So even with a soft breath, we can still have massaging of the vagus nerve. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it all go, stretching forwards and down into your child's pose, which might have hands underneath your head, or little fists, or a bolster in front if you have one, and just rest in your child's pose for a few breaths here. Really just allow that lower back to open. Big breaths down into the pelvis. And then really gently just lifting your head and walking your hands back in. Am I moving still? No, there we go. Good, and gently lift up, just swing the legs to the side. Move everything off to the side. And then come into Sakasana. So legs crossed, feet under your knees. If you're really open, one foot comes up on top. If you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm all belly, you might need to put a folded blanket under your buttocks, or a bolster. It's not about how big that stretch is, how far we go forward. We can go a few little inches forwards, and then just gently release your fingers down. And some of you will keep going. Some of you are like, oh my God, this baby's taking up too much space. And I think definitely as they get deeper in the pelvis, it's normal to need a little bit of height under the hips. And add a little bit of movement. So another little thing just to remember about the breath, and I'll try and demonstrate, but it's pretty hard while you're teaching, is to keep 99% of your breaths in and out through the nose. So to keep the lips together and the tongue always resting on the top palate. Just like you're about to do that Ujjayi breath, but the tongue is still resting on the roof of the mouth. We don't have to do that rasping sound by keeping the tongue there. Keep it nice and subtle, lips together, breathing in and out through the nose. If you can, you reach out just a little bit further or pull your toes back, just going a little deeper to the stretch for those last two breaths. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. You'll have to wake them up. They're a bit excited to be home. And I like to do a sort of cleansing breath at the end of some of these poses. So if it feels good, take a big breath in through your nose and a big breath out through the mouth. Empty and let go. Make a little sound if you need. And then just walk your hands in. And just remember which leg you've got in front. Ground the hands behind. Yeah, you can straighten those legs out. Just sort of bounce the legs, roll the ankles. Bend your elbows, have a little stretch, kind of looking around to the side. And then just big chest lift, pull those elbows back so the arms are still bent. Maybe head back. Good, and then gently release. Let's take it to the other side. So whichever leg needs to go in front. Big breath in. This time, let's clasp the fingers and reach up for a little longer and just see if you can stretch out the muscles back of the chest. So an area that doesn't get much movement is the back of the ribs there. So you can give them a little wriggle. Big breath in, nice and wide. And then gently come forwards. And you're going to stretch on the other side. And you take whatever variation. So some of you can still walk the hands to the side. Some of you, it just feels really nice just to be here. Sometimes it's great to just rest on your forearms. I want to always do the least to achieve the most. So how can I find kind of ease in the pose? You minimize the sensations. You might then, by giving some more ease in your shoulders, be able to go deeper into that hip sensation. Perhaps it just all becomes a little more blissful, especially when we soften the face. And let's take a big cleansing breath when you're ready, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Empty, empty. Walk your hands in. Hands come behind. Counter stretch like you did before, if that felt good. Or a stronger version is that little tabletop where you lift right up. Or big one, stronger still, your heels. One more breath. Good, and then gently come down. Good. So keeping with this awareness of your breath, let's come around onto all fours, onto this way. And just a really beautiful way, such a simple thing to do every day, to open the body to the breath so that it gets into these deeper, spongier parts, is our cat-cow. So just allow that breath to come in a little deeper on your inhale, stretch the belly. Empty out a little bit more. So you create a lovely little vacuum. And then just start to play with it if you want to roll around, take some drunken cats. Sometimes even kind of bending the elbows, going onto your fingertips, rolling the head and the pelvis. You might stretch one arm out, move into the side body. And then, of course, you start to just open it up and bring your knees wide, hands further out. And you've got lots of beautiful hip circling. So, you know, even you might labor like this, or you might do it standing up. You've still got to move those hips. So get really comfortable moving your hips while softening and letting go of the belly. Maybe breathing out through the mouth. And then going back into nasal breathing. Try it on your forearms if you haven't done that before. It's quite different kind of movement. And actually you can really relax your pelvic floor and your belly even more. So this is a great one to help prevent posterior. Feels like a smaller movement, but actually you can paint a bigger circle with your tailbone if you just notice it. Good. and then really gently rest back again into your child's pose. Bring those hands back under the head, under the third eye space. You've got your little calming acupressure point there. And just pause for a moment and already just feel how the movement has created that warmth in the body, starting to create that sense of connection between the brain and body, and see if the breath can just travel a little deeper into your belly, into your pelvis. So just really feeling through movement, do we invite breath deeper? And as we breathe a little deeper into the body, is there a different feeling, an emotional byproduct? Is it just a feeling of nice warmth, or is it maybe freedom or bliss? But let's not do pelvic floor work because that's just too boring with the breathing focus today. Let's come on up, keep those knees wide, big toes together. Your left hand grounded, big breath in, right arm reaches up. So big opening again through your ribs, and then exhale, spin down to the floor. Inhale, reach up and try and hold your breath. So you get to the top, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, dive through. One more time. Inhale, reach up, hold your breath, retention, and then exhale, dive through. And now just hold in that twist, in that stretch. Chill there. Let the breath settle, the heart rate settle. And notice again, like an inhale retention has had an impact through the whole body-mind system. Gently unravel, ground your right hand. And when you're ready, let's take that left arm up, big breath in, reach, exhale, dive through. Inhale as you open. Exhale, twist. Inhale as you reach up. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, dive through and release in the twist, in the inversion. See if you can force the breath a little deeper into the bottom of the lungs and the side ribs there. So it gets a little sticky, a little stuck. There's a lot more sort of connective tissues, right, in the back ribs. There's a lot more freedom in the front ribs. Good. Gently release and lift up. Good. Let's just sit back onto the toes. So that little toe crunch asana, little toe crunch, sit up, and another little lung opening. Yeah. Let's clasp the fingers behind the back. And really take a big breath in, open the chest, look up, and then drop your chin to your chest and pull the knuckles a little further back. If it gets too strong, just lift up for a moment and then try and sit back down. Relax the toes, bring the breath even bigger into the front chest as we hold. So the poses themselves will force a style of breathing or encourage a style of breathing. So gently release, flip your feet over, sit back down. If you can, put a brick underneath your butt if you need. And then clasp the fingers out in front like little knuckles, pulling through like a deeper cat-cow. Tuck your chin, exhale, and then breathe in, open the heart, open the fingers, open the eyes, look up, and then exhale, curl through. Inhale, open, stretch, exhale, curl. One more, inhale, open. Hold. Exhale, release. Good. Slowly release down, bring your hands back to your thighs, open the knees wide. We'll take 3 little line breaths. So another one just to release sort of stale air from the lungs. You're going to inhale through your nose and then tongue out, fingers stretch, eyes look up, and they stretch open as well. Yeah, big breath in. Inhale slowly, tongue retracts, eyes close. Relax your fingers. Take a moment just to pause. Notice the breath. Let it settle. Big inhale. All out. Really stretching the tongue and then allowing it to slowly retract. Let the fingers relax, the eyes soften. Chin tucks to the chest. Take a moment just to pause. And then one more time. Inhale fully. Eyes closed, tongue withdraws, fingers relaxed. Keep lifting up through the crown of your head, down through the tail, come back to the breath moving, subtle in the bottom of the lungs. Gently bring the fingers forwards, gently turn your toes over. Slowly push up, walk your hands towards your legs. You might need to take your feet wider for your belly. If you want, you go hands or elbows on your legs and just kind of hang forwards. Yeah, if it feels good, just sort of sway a little bit. And then when you're ready, either walk your hands up your legs or just roll on up. Come up to standing. Let's tilt the camera a little bit. A little bit more movement in the old lungs there, just to get that breath flowing a little bit more. Standing with the feet wide on the mat, not straight. Disaster. Here we go, reach one arm up and then lean across to the side, hand on the hip if you want, slide it down and then gently come up, reach up, push through your foot. Feel that line from the foot to the fingers as you reach over. And this time as we take it, let's come into the other side, hand on the hip, and let's see if you can feel, where does the breath want to go? Where do you want to breathe into to make more space, more freedom, more bliss in the body? The breath is a great indicator. If we've gone in too far, sometimes we've got to come back a little bit. We can't bring the breath into the body where we want. So we need to pull back a little bit. Yeah, so when you're ready, reach up, other side, go to where you feel it's right. Breathe into where it feels good. Not too far, take it out a little bit. You're holding, breathing. Really gently release. Turn those toes out to the side. Now these Kundalini rolls are an interesting one for the breathing, because people always get caught out again with that like retention. And I'll do it from the side, so that kumbhaka. We bring those arms down, take a big inhale, reach up. Exhale, you flow down. My heels come off the floor, fingers to the mat, chin is tucked. Drop the head, big breath in. When you hold it, it's like keeping the energy around the spine, protecting it. Heels down and then roll up or walk up. Exhaling on that way out. Inhale wide. Exhale down. Heels are off the floor, chin tapped. Inhale. Hold your breath for a moment. Bottom up. Exhale, roll up. So it's about building prana, building energy, connecting to Mother Earth. But that inhale, that little pause also builds energy in the body. So it's a great one for pregnancy. Great one for postpartum as well. After your hold, bottom up, roll up. Good. And take it one more time. Last time you come up, inhale wide. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart space. Connect again with your breath. Let it become as subtle as possible, as soon as possible. And actually, if we can allow the breath to become very subtle, in and out through the nose, tongue resting top palate, not rasping sound, just subtle, gentle breath, those soft sleep breaths. We know that we're in parasympathetic. The heart rate will settle, the blood pressure will go down, brain waves will start to become more coherent. Everything that's good for you and your baby to traverse in birth. Sometimes settling the breath is the hardest thing, for yogis, just to be in that subtle space. Think about that red thread of your family line that we all hold on to, kind of comes through and connect to your breath, even in these subtle moments, subtle yet powerful moments. This is where you replenish, this is where you find your stillness to carry you through the next wave. All right, stepping to the front of the mat if you're not already there for some sun salutes. Having bricks as well if you need those. Particularly if you've got like short arms, big bellies, all that sort of stuff. All right, my toes are turning out. It's sort of not fitting in the camera here, but that's all right. Here we go. Big breath in and wide, reach up. Exhale as you bow down. Put your hands on the bricks if you want, or reach the floor. You're going to step your right leg back, wriggle far as you want to go, and then bring those bricks inside your leg, or your hands. And then you've got the full pose, just kind of rocking, opening, or you've got an easier version on the knee, pubic pain, lower back pain, modified version, just going for that psoas stretch, and that right side. So just do what feels nice for you. Keep the breath in and out through the nose. The breath will always change as well if the shoulders are up by your ears. So befriending the breath means coming back to your friend, like coming back to that connection, that beautiful relationship you have. And it's in that coming back to the breath that you can be curious and scan your body. All of a sudden, your awareness has grown just by coming back to this relationship with the breath, that one long life companion we have. And when you're ready, you've got downward dog. If you feel like that, you can always do it on the bricks. If you feel like taking that sort of pressure off the hammies and the calves, you can just go up on your bricks and do your downward dog if you've got that. If you don't want to do downward dog, just take some nice circles, have a little rest. If you're in down dog, feel free to have a play, walk it out. Shake out the head, roll the shoulders. Step onto one leg. Some of you might lift one foot up, or just wrap it behind the leg just to get deeper into that calf. All right, and when you're ready, you're going to come out. You're going to look ahead, lean into your left hand. Get that right leg up and swing it outside. Your right hand, bounce off, bring the left foot up, and we come into our contraction practice. So whenever the body has to work, it's going to need deeper breaths. But can you make those breaths long and rhythmic? A little sense of just kind of slowing them down. So that you're in charge of the breath and It's not just forcing its way in and stressing you out. You find a way to breathe, long, calm, rhythmic, that allows you to hold on to that red thread of wisdom and strength. Then clasp your hands like you're holding on to that red thread, right? Nearly there. When you're ready, drop your hands, take a big breath in and wide and reach up. And then exhale, bring your hands down. Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Shoulders melt, face soft, chin gently tucks towards the chest. Notice your breath. Make it longer if you need. Hold at the inhale, top if you need. And see if you can slowly let it move into natural soft sleep breaths. When it's ready, take a little while. The heart rate will follow and the mind will also follow as the breath slows down. Nice. Feel your body, feel your breath, feel the changes that you're making through the practice. Nice, here we go. Left leg leading. When you're ready, big breath in, sweep the arms wide and up. Exhale as you come down, hands to the bricks or the floor. Lean to your right, take your left leg to the edge of the mat. Wiggle, slide further back if you want. Take rocking, swaying, whatever works for you, or the solace lunge. So obviously in preparing for birth, there's a sense of, opening the belly, hips, the pelvis, the pelvic floor, feeling that fascia stretch, getting familiar with the sensations in these pretty stagnant parts of our body. Sure, we have sex, right? We make babies and we bleed, but the rest of the time, modern culture is about sitting on your ass and deadening these parts of the body. So really making it alive in the pelvis with your breath, with your awareness is a great thing to be doing on the mat. Just feeling there. Where the mind goes, the breath will also follow. Energy will then build. When you're ready, you've got downward dog, all fours, child's pose, whatever you feel like doing. Supported squat. You feel really strong. Got your high planks if you want to come forwards and back a couple of times. I like to exhale forwards, really wrap the belly in. Inhale up. Good. And then one more breath wherever you are. Look ahead, lean to your right leg and hand, swing that left foot up, bounce, swing it up, and then you're down. Hold on to the red thread, clasp the hands together, and think about all those women that are giving birth in order for you to be here and now. Ancient line, tens of thousands of women have all found that strength to birth. We've all made friends, become lovers, really, with the breath. Intimate lover of the breath. Really there. When you're ready, big breath in wide, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands down. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Breathe as you need, in and out through the nose. Soften the body, soften the face. The heart rate might still be up a little bit, that's fine. Let's calm the body-mind system a little bit more by turning those toes towards the front, other hands to your belly or your hips, and take some nice little circles, some tilts, some figure eights, whatever feels good for you. Your eyes can be open, you kind of just like gaze out into nowhere. But you close your eyes and it might feel really different. So just experiment with that. What's more nourishing? What's more sensual, softer? My next class is going to be about the feminine, embracing the feminine. What is the feminine? And spiral or circle pelvis slowly into smaller movements, smaller, not stopped yet, just still moving until you feel both feet really even and you're ready to just pause and feel the breath again. Nice one. Let's gently release. Step the feet wide. Yep. Turn the right foot out to the side, your left toes in. Now you grab a brick if you need as well in your right hand, if you want a bit more support. Open the arms when you're ready, reach across over your right leg. You might bring that brick down and rest your hand. You might need to just take your legs wider as well. You've got 3 points, 1, 2, 3. And then that sense of just twisting your ribs. And this arm kind of just floats. And then only look up if it's okay on your neck. Mine's really not. You can even wrap that arm behind. Rest on the ankle. Again, feel where the breath wants to come into through the pose and let it go there. Sometimes a deeper breath in these poses is what it's calling for. And gently look down. If you're not already, bend your right knee. Bring that brick up with you if you've got one, and then take it to the other side. Pull the feet around. The angle of the feet is really important. It gives you space in your sacrum. So you should feel like you've got that space there. There's no pain in the lower back at all. If there is, it's usually because the back toe is not turned in or the left one's not pointing out enough. So feel your back. Float the arm if you need. Wrap around, you can look down. The pelvis will want to move back, but just kind of guide it forwards so you really get that intensity around the hips, maybe the groin. And just breathe into those spaces. Big belly breaths. Done. Right hand on your hip, left knee bends, gently lift the body up. And then this is one of my favorite ones, so Prasarita C, where we turn in with the toes. Yeah. You can have a brick out in front that you might fit the head on, you might not reach it, that's fine. Hands to hips, big breath in, reach up. Come forwards. You can bend your knees anytime, no pain in the back. Try and bring that weight through onto the hands. You might have to have bricks under the hands, that's fine. They come forwards a little bit so that you can rock. You might not need the bricks, that's okay. Heels might come off a little bit. That's fine too. Just feel stable, right? Or you might need to bend your knees. Doesn't matter. You're still getting it into these sort of lower groin, pelvic floor spaces. And then you can hold. You might have 2 bricks. The head resting, the hands open a little wider, like a 5-pointed star. So just really feel that pose. If it's too intense, then you want to lift up a little bit higher. Closing your eyes, feeling the torso, feeling your pelvis, feeling your pelvic floor. Where can you invite breath? Can you actually feel the breath expanding your belly and your pelvic floor on that inhale? Whole body breathing like a baby in child's pose. Well done. Walk your hands in. Heel toe your feet. And then gently just walk your hands on the leg or just roll up through your spine. Shake it out. Nice. Now just really settling the nervous system through a balance. So bring the feet together. Turn that right knee out to the side. And you can take any kind of pose you would like, yeah, for your balance. So Rikshasana, you can go to the calf, you can go to the thigh. If you want to do that little half tree, you could do that. If you want to do a little dancing Shiva, you could do that. Do a few of them. And all the classical pose. And you can open up. See if you can lengthen the body here. Let the knee open a little wider. And just also now soften the breath. And really let the arms release. And the leg come down and just notice the effect of the balance and the breathing. So close your eyes for a moment. That focused mind, eyes, and subtle breath. When you're ready, open and come into the other side and look at these little pillars. Pillars for the nervous system. Change it up if you did any of the others. Breath still flowing, holding the breath without intention, kind of pushing from the mind. Listening to the body. When you're ready, gently release and bring it down. I think one of the greatest ways to also now learn about the breath is in these long holding stretches. So in a yin style pose. So we want to get as many props as you've got as you come to the floor to do a long hold, hip buttock stretch. I'll just tilt down. You're going to want like blankets and all that sort of stuff, right? So you can come through your downward dog. If you want to lift your right knee up, swing it forward. Classic Ekapada is like this, right? And then sometimes we go brick and then bolster, pillows or something like that to give you a bit more height for your tummy. Or sometimes you literally just got to stay up. Yeah. That's too strong. Just let the knee come out to the side and just lean forwards from here. that's still too strong, you can come back to legs crossed, or you can try one foot on top. Yeah, like I'm sitting on a blanket or something like that. And it can be heaps sometimes for the hips. Just do what feels right, because we want to hold a little while. Yeah. Yeah, so these moments now, these longer holding poses, are such an invitation to relax deeper, to peel that onion of relaxation. We'll be exploring, feeling safe to surrender. And one way that you can feel safe is through making friends with the breath here on the mat. So that when you are letting go, and then letting go more, and then birth asks you to let go even more. Maybe your pregnancy's already doing that. Let go. Then you can just come back to your breath, because she's your friend. She's going to guide you. She's going to help you relax. She's going to expand your consciousness. Realizing all the time that you're just a part of this supreme intelligence. Feel where you want to breathe and feel where you can let go. And then sometimes the breath becomes so subtle, it's hardly moving at all, and that just feels perfect, so trust that. Sometimes the body wants you to just take a big breath in and out, and that's fine. Really there, and perhaps the body's saying it's had enough. But birth is always going to ask a little more. And you can do that with the breath. Last two breaths. You need to take those cleansing exhales. Let your body do that. And then really slowly pull those hands in. Maybe keep your eyes closed. And just release your pose. Take a moment. You might just let the legs come out in front. You might just lean back and shake out the legs, or if you want to do the screen wiper. And then gently just move into the other side. Whatever variation is best for you. Shoulders soft, face relaxed. Yeah. Maybe the body wants you to breathe a little deeper into those tighter spaces. It's like sinking through layers. Little shelves going deeper and deeper into the body. Mind wanders. The breath might pause for a moment, and then you come back and you need to take those deeper breaths because the mind's just been somewhere else. And then you let yourself settle again and go a little deeper. Every time the body needs a deeper breath, you might just imbue those deeper breaths with an affirmation. And I think my favorite for birth is just that inhale, open, exhale, let go. The inhale, open, exhale, relax, exhale, soften. Something that's kind of a downward wash, softening tissues, fascia. Now making space, exhale, releasing. Last few breaths now. Pose just do its magic by you surrendering just a little bit more. And those last couple of breaths, maybe cleansing out through the mouth. Very, very gently use your hands, whatever you need, to slowly come out of whatever pose you're in. And just take a finishing pose lying back for a little while.